Hey, I'm Ivie Ose, your fashion savvy host. I dive into luxury, fashion, everyday chic, and crafting your unique style. Subscribe and join our community for a stylish adventure, baby. Our influencers shaping the future of luxury fashion. We're going to dive into the glamorous world of luxury fashion influencing. We're going to see how fashion influencers are revolutionizing the way you perceive or the way you interact with luxury fashion brands, from setting trends to redefining inclusivity or exclusivity. We'll explore their incredible impact on the fashion industry. Stay tuned, and you better not exit, baby. You better stay tuned. I gotta read what I wrote to you. It's a script. I scripted it, but I'm reading to you. Who are luxury fashion influencers? Because of course we are discussing influencers in luxury fashion. So who are these people? They are people who have significant influence. Their presence makes it a present. Their presence are giving you numbers or not, but they just have influence. They have more recognition. They play a crucial role in promoting and shaping the landscape of high-end fashion brands and products. Luxury is very subjective. The meaning of luxury changes from person to person. Google defines luxury as the state of great comfort and extravagant living, like that out of reach type feeling. There's no price tag on luxury. I mean, something could be $300 in luxury and something could be $3,000 in luxury. Especially some of these higher brands. Some of them have like more diffusion, cheaper kind of lines. Luxury fashion influencers, they are typically known for their impeccable style, taste, and exclusive and high price fashion items. They are trendsetters and they have a significant impact on consumer preferences and perception. They have social media following. If it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, sometimes even have on Pinterest, they usually have bigger following. You can find a luxury influencer that has like 10k 20k followers, but like everyone knows that person. They have some say so in like what consumers are buying. They promote luxury premium brands, designer items, or even premium products and experiences. They have exclusive insider access if it's like behind the shows, designer shows, collaborations, like private, exclusive access, early access. They also have affiliate marketing and sponsorship. They collaborate with brands. They are provided like sometimes free products, free codes, free links to be able to get like that affiliation, that affiliate link, affiliate product, whatever it is, some sort of collaboration between the influencer and the luxury fashion brand. So a lot of these you can draw a similarity with like regular influencers and regular brands, but I'm specifically focusing on luxury fashion because the discourse in that space has kind of like developed over time, especially as we see more and more influencers who are making more and more money. They provide their opinions, expert or not opinions, with their followers and subscribers, and this is because they have knowledge in high-end fashion. They have experience. They have association. They can purchase it, they can buy it, they can talk on it. They have, what I mean, as opposed to someone who has never had that before. So this is very key because they can influence purchasing decisions, the decisions of the consumers to risk it all. Some people want to risk their money, their rent, their livelihood to get these items. These luxury influencers, how do they gain influence in this space? I mean, Amwari is even an influencer but also has a brand herself. So sometimes you even see luxury influencers doubling up as the brand owners as well as influencers. I mean, Amwari is a very great example of that. These brands, they are very strategic. They make high quality content. Sometimes you see that they post, if you go to Chanel's page, you're not just gonna see any low quality image on there. You're gonna see high luxury images. Sometimes they don't even repost the regular followers because they want a certain high definition. They want 4K images. They want pre-shoot, pre-commercial or editorial type images. These influencers are also very knowledgeable, or they have a knowledgeable team. Some influencers, you see them, they present a front, they're just the one person, but it's very important to know there's a machine moving behind these influencers. Videographers, photographers, planners, assistants, you name it, they have it. They have locations, they have shoot locations. Like there is a whole machine working behind a lot of these huge brands. It's that exclusive feeling. Only the top of the top, the 1% usually should have access to these, but people will do anything to get these items. Why? Because it's exclusive, it's scarce. You can't just walk in anywhere and find any random Chanel bag. You have to call in. Sometimes you have sales associates. Sometimes you have personal shoppers who are getting these items and sourcing them from all over the world, the country, to have them delivered. Another thing about these luxury influencers is that they have access to create innovative content. They have a team behind them. They have money. They have sponsorships who are fueling this machine. When IG started, it was a bunch of blurred selfies, low quality, 320p, 240p type videos, but the game has changed since then. Now let's briefly discuss the evolution of influencer marketing. The early 2000s to 2010s, it was more so brands relied on models and celebrities. The fashion rows and the front row seats were all stacked with like A-list celebrities. You don't get them present as much as they used to be back then, but oh baby, back then the front row seats were flooded. Aside from the celebrity and influencers, emerging influencers started to pop up in the 2010s. They had blogs, they had followings. That was like following the dot-com boom and subsequently the crash, of course. As things started to move along with the internet world, there was a transition to digital influencers, and this is post 2010s, of course, introducing Instagram. If you have already that following that is a dedicated culture of fashion, luxury, whatever it is, I can just plug my product there, my brand there, to promote with that audience that's already kind of like what we're looking for. So they began to actually collaborate with these influencers, digital influencers, for promotional campaigns, for product endorsements, product placements, and that's how things started to kind of like slowly get in. And it's very important as a brand to diversify. You never know what you get, you never know what sticks. And of course with this I have to mention sustainability and ethical concerns. This is an issue, especially it's been an issue for a while, but it's increasingly more so. Of course this is not an area I'm well versed in, sustainability, I'm not gonna lie to you, girl, but in recent years this has been a growing topic, and that's because fashion is such a huge industry. There's a lot of waste, there's a lot of overconsumption, a lot of pushing that influencers are doing. So that's something that I think is very important to be noted in the conversation of influencing. Luxury influencers are using their platforms to advocate for eco-friendly, socially responsible, sustainable fashion choices. I just thought I'd mention it because it's something to definitely consider. How do brands actually measure return on investment? So the brand has gone out, they've selected these influencers, they've paid the dollars. How can they measure that? We're getting our money back, we're making profit. Because sometimes it's not as easy as saying, oh, I have $10, I can buy 5 cookies for $2 each. Sometimes you're paying and maybe you only get awareness. Sometimes the customer clicks but they don't buy. So how do they actually measure what the return is? So the main goal of a brand marketing is always to convert. The primary goal is to sell. They don't care about letting you know if they're not selling. Selling will always win. The reason marketing exists is to market to you and I and to sell. The primary purpose is to sell, convert the customers, convert them from being a non-buyer or a browser or whatever it is to a buyer. That's the reason why we're here. The reason why you're here and I'm here is to convert. We want you to spend. We want you to stay tuned in. We want you to buy. Sales is very important. Revenue is important. How much sales are coming in from these ads, from these marketing campaigns, from these collaborations? Brands are trying to measure that. Another thing that they measure is engagement. How many likes, how many comments, how many bookmarks. Brands will literally track everything. Did you view it? Did you see it? Did you see it but you didn't actually click on it? Was how many impressions did that video make? Did that video live like, not the impression of you watching it, but that it reached you, the reach of it. The brands are measuring everything. Did you click that link? How long did you view that ad for, or that collab or product for? They literally could track everything. The reason they're tracking these things is because they want to know how this ad is doing. Do they need to promote more with this influencer? Do they need to put more dollars into it? Did it work? Because you never really know how, we can see the trends, but anything can happen, right? So they need to actually track it to make a case for why they're spending the money that they're spending. And not every brand might be able to afford, or maybe is tenured enough to track these things, but these are absolutely things that you can track. The brand may even have a longer partnership that can last like a year. Sometimes people have multi-year deals. Sometimes they even have 5-year deals. I mean, look at all these footballers and stuff. That's part of like influencing. Sometimes they'll have like 3-year deals with Nike or whatever the case may be. Loyal customers, they have a high lifetime value, so you might need to play the game for a long time. If I know that you're associated with a brand, I can trust that, okay, this girl's with this brand, she uses them regularly, okay, yeah, it makes sense that she would have that. If I had a Tiffany & Co necklace and you saw me wearing Tiffany & Co every other week or whatever it is, then you are more likely to trust what I'm saying about Tiffany & Co, as opposed to me flip-flopping, me switching. This week is this one and next week is something else. They're not saying that that is the right move to make all the time, but that's something to consider as well. Like, you want some loyal customers, you want some customers that are going to spend everything they have, you want some customers that are coming for the first time. You want a mix of everything. You're diversifying your marketing. What are the cons of influencers in luxury fashion? These cons are not specific to like luxury fashion influencing, but I just wanted to mention like some cons of like influencer marketing, whatever. The cost of like collaborating with high profile influencers can be very expensive, especially for luxury brands and luxury brands who have limited marketing budgets. So like if I was a luxury brand and I wanted to get all the top influencers, like I can't really do that. If my budget is $1 million for a luxury campaign, for example, I'll have to think, how can I spend this? I might get 1 or 2, you know, luxury influencer, high-end luxury influencers or high-profile luxury influencers, but I might want to diversify with some mid influencers, some lower kind of like profile influencers, diversify maybe marketing on some other side. In all, you have a marketing budget. How much is going to influencer marketing? And even in of that influencer marketing, I still would want to diversify high profile, mid profile, low profile. Even the low profile ones also tend to convert as well, because we've seen that micro influencers actually do have a lot of push because they are not, you know, kind of like out there yet, so people kind of like tend to believe them. They have lower following, they have, you know, they're more maybe hands-on and engaged with their viewers and their followers. Oversaturation. The influencer market it's been here for over 10 years. There's a lot of influencers, new keep popping. It just gave birth to an influencer right now, and you're seeing my face for the first time, maybe, who knows, and I'm another person who's trying to get into that space. So it's always going, there's always someone. So oversaturation at some point can lead to different effects. Pricing, you know, believability. Do people trust these influencers? How authentic is it? If you've seen it over and over again, are you more likely to buy now than the last time? In marketing, we play on all these different feelings. Your fear of missing out, we will use that to sell to you. Okay, we will take advantage of it. Like, we're trying to, again, remember, the goal is to sell. We don't care. When I say we, I mean brands, and I'm not a brand, but this is how they would think. They don't care how you feel, okay? They are trying to sell. They don't give it about how you feel. They're trying to sell. They're trying to meet their stakeholder requests, investments, their portfolio. They don't care, okay, baby? They don't care. They're trying to meet their shareholder goals. They're trying to return the money back, okay? Followers are becoming more skeptical by the day, of course, because views and endorsements and links, and sometimes people don't disclose the links, and are not honest because they just want to get a bag, they just want to get paid. So there's just so many factors that come into it. Critics argue that influencers may promote products solely for financial gain, yes, leading to lack of authenticity in their endorsement, and this can remove the trust from their customers, which makes sense, right? If I just wanted to promote to you just because I'm getting paid and I don't care how it gets to you, if the quality is right, and if you bought that with your hard-earned dollars, are you likely to buy from me next time again via my link? Probably not, because you don't believe that, or you've seen too many people who've gotten bitten, and so you don't want to fall into that trap. Risk of controversy. Influencers' personal lives and actions can affect a brand's reputation, especially if the influencer is involved in controversies. We've seen this time and time again. Your personal life is affecting my business. That's why these huge brands, they have long lists of, you know, T&Cs, terms and conditions, in their contracts, because they can't afford to risk their image. Some topics and some controversies are so huge and they could destroy, you know, a person's image. Think of like the Balenciaga issue with Kim Kardashian. That was so huge. That was a huge disruptor. Like, people pull back from that brand altogether. People are still buying, you know what I mean? So what's right or wrong is neither here nor there. It's up to you to decide. But like, that affects the brand. It affects the brand, and it affects the influencer. If the brand is doing some wild ass stuff, and you as an influencer are with the brand, you're associated with them, so it's something to think about. The fast-paced nature of influencer-driven trends can lead to a short shelf life for certain luxury products. Some people feel like influencers, only encourage short-term trends, immediate sales. They don't care about how is this product actually going to work for you in the long run. They don't care. Overconsumption issue. People are concerned that influencers might not be so honest, and like, they might not be patient enough to talk about the long-term impacts. What's here today is here today, and that's all we care about. But should that be the case, or should you be thinking about tomorrow? That's a question for you as the consumer, not the brand, because they don't care. Okay, remember, their primary goal is to sell, but sometimes the brands just have to give up the control. Okay, like you might want white wall and I have vanilla walls. What about it? Except the brand is literally shooting the campaign themselves. Can't control. The influencer is gonna say one thing. I mean, no matter what, you might put guidelines, but like, it's going to still be in their setting with their vibe. Even if you script them, can you really control every single thing? Like, you can't. Of course, we talked about return on investment, but actually determining and calibrating these returns is so complex and so difficult. Sometimes it's just make sure that overall you're winning. If you are making money and you've spent the marketing, baby, you winning. Okay, like, you can try to like lower some and see how it impacts, but you don't really know. You can't really measure to the exact dollar how much did this campaign get. It's hard to quantify. Lack of long-term commitment. Influencers actually do have the right sometimes to work with other brands, and if you want exclusivity, you're gonna have to pay for it. So that makes it challenging to establish long-term commitment, because sometimes not all brands want to pay for a 1-year commitment. So you might have to share that precious influencer with your competitor. Even if they pay for exclusivity for 6 months, there's no telling what that person's gonna do after 6 months. They can literally go and work with your up. Like, for real. One of the critiques that people bring up is unrealistic standards. Luxury influencers often project an aspirational lifestyle, of course, that is sometimes unattainable to the majority of their audience. So this can contribute to feelings of inadequacy and encourage excessive consumption to emulate that influencer's lifestyle. It's because you're following all these influencers who shop at Louis Vuitton 7 times a week, who shop at Chanel, who have Birkins. Like, that's not like, and even if no matter what, you as the follower, you're going to at some point want that, and you realizing that you can want that but not have it is going to be a bummer. We have to find a way to kind of like resolve that feeling in our heart. Is it aspirational, or are you getting jealous? There's that line. I don't know. Something to consider. I thought I'd bring it up though. Speaking of the cons, I wanted to mention some critiques that arose from the cons. Of course, we'll get to the good stuff. It's not all sad, but these are some critiques that of course are coming in. So we already mentioned unrealistic standards. Now we have exclusivity versus accessibility. Luxury influencers often focus on high-end exclusive brands. Ain't no problem with that. That's just what they do. And this can perpetuate the idea that fashion is only for the elite. Critics argue that this reinforces class division and excludes a broader, more diverse audience. Fashion has always given this very exclusive, snobby kind of like aura and vibe to it. The runways, the shows have always been exclusive, private access, request kind of situation, invite only. So it's always felt exclusive. And critiques argue that influencer marketing perpetuates a culture of overconsumption and materialism, and this encourages people to buy more than they actually need. I wonder where the line will be with like, oh, just buy what you want versus like actually over consuming. We're always being pushed to every single day because our phone is right in front of us, and it's always buy this, buy that, this is launching, this new collection. Where's the line between like that versus just like, oh, hey, get this, you might need this if you want this and this and this, which was actually the original intended message. But how did we get from there? Buy this because you need it and it's good and I like this based on this, versus like, oh, you need it, just buy it. I'm not here to solve solutions and provide answers to every question, but I'm just presenting this as a conversation, a discourse space, if you will. The rise of influencer marketing has disrupted, of course, traditional media, affecting the business models of fashion magazines and journalism. Every other day there's a new magazine closing up, there's a new journal quitting, there's something, there's reshuffles, shuffles, and then some more shuffles. There's a big brand, big magazine closing down. At some point I heard Paper magazine was shutting down, but I don't know if it actually shut down or if that was, you know what I mean? Like, so that's because they don't have that push like they used to. People are working in these magazines for years and years and decades, so you have to think about that as well. Not saying that we should give this up for this, but it's something to think about. The fashion influencer space has faced criticism, huge criticism, for a lack of diversity and representation. We're always encouraging brands to cast wider nets when it comes to their recruitment processes, recruitment for, you know, all positions, whether it's photographers, models, editors, journalists, and, you know, recruit and support based on a fairer value add, as opposed to picking and handpicking from the acceptable bucket. Actually do the work, see what's out there, and hire people based on their actual what value they can bring, as opposed to how they look like. Probably not going to change anytime soon, but again, it's just something I wanted to present as a conversation. Something I wrote down here is that it's important to note that all these critiques do not apply to all luxury fashion influencers, and many of these influencers actually do take steps to address some of these concerns. The regulations in the fashion industry, or just influencing marketing in general, are starting to come up on the rise, so some of these issues may be addressed and some of them maybe not, because honestly with marketing, a lot of these issues have been existing for decades. I mean, think about body images and positivity, like that has been a thing for like ages, so don't hold your breath on that. And so lastly, we'll get to pros of influencers in luxury fashion spaces, not just the grimy sad stuff. Like, we don't want to hear about the sad stuff. Let's see what good are these influencers actually doing. If these sales actually come through, that's great for the brands, especially if you have smaller luxury fashion brands. Not all luxury fashion brands are actually huge. Some of them are smaller, some of them are just starting. So if you're actually selling for them, these influencers actually making sales for them, that's great. That's helping these brands out, the smaller brands out. Targeted marketing. Luxury fashion brands can collaborate with influencers that have these huge followings but actually match their target demographics. Oh, I know you have what I'm looking for, so let me just go and market with you because you have the target people that I'm looking to actually show my products to. Social media reach. So because of a lot of these people have, a lot of these huge high profile influencers have reach, even the smaller ones, they have reach. A reach is a reach. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, a reach is a reach. Luxury fashion influencers actually exude this aspirational lifestyle. Yes, that can be used for other negative things, of course, but when it does work, this kind of image can align with that brand's image, a luxury, clean aesthetic, luxe, expensive, extravagant, clean, you know what I mean? Like, they can kind of match, they can make love, and they can bloom in terms of conversion sales, of course. Influencers provide a personal touch to brand promotion. Of course, they put a face on it, they put a feel to it, they put words to it, in their own words, in your words, whoever's words, they put words to it, okay? It's like, okay, that bag was just a bag, but now that this person is holding this bag, now that Monroe Steele, Jeanette Naylor is holding this bag, maybe I want that bag. They are trendsetters. These influencers are telling you what's happening. They are going to the runway shows. They're telling you what's going to be on trend this season, what's on trend this season, what's going to be on trend next season, what you should be looking out for, what's going to hit the store. These influencers also have engagement and interaction. They can foster a sense of community around luxury fashion by interacting with their followers and responding to comments and questions, which sometimes the brands might not do. So it's nice to have that engagement, that touch point, that one-on-one. You go on lives with these influencers. It's like, wow, this brand has a whole new face now. They have a face and they have several faces with these influencers. Diversity and representation, because now even if you don't hire that diversity in your team, you can actually pretend like you do have it by hiring influencers that are diverse. wow, you can trick the system. Illusion of diversity, illusion of luxury, darling, illusion of inclusivity. Luxury influencers are skilled, they're ninjas at creating these content, beautiful high quality content, and so this content can be repurposed by the brand for marketing campaigns. They can post it, of course, depending on your contracts, your TNCs, your terms and conditions, and you're actually, you know, supporting people's livelihoods. These people have teams, they have families, they're feeding their families, their teams through these sales, through these collaborations, through their paid, you know, paid promotion, paid marketing. So this is where it's a win. How much of a win is it? I don't know. It's up to you. Some people don't even want these influencers to win because they're winning so much. So I don't know. It's something to consider, something to talk about, I guess. I'd love to know your thoughts on influencers in a luxury fashion space. Drop a comment. Who are your faves? What do you like? What don't you like about the industry? Feel free to share your own personal thoughts and experiences if you have. Now, as we wrap up, let's remember a few things that we've been able to take away from this video. Authenticity, transparency, and luxury content are the cornerstones of successful influencers' journeys. Today we've been able to delve into evolution of influencer marketing. We've looked at the impact on the industry, and we've seen the challenges that these influencers might face. We've seen the pros, the cons, the critiques, and again, influencers, whether or not you like it, they do play a pivotal role in shaping the fashion landscape, the luxury fashion landscape. Honestly, really any brand at this point, from setting trends to influencing consumer decisions. So if you found this video informative, if you found this helpful and interesting, enjoyable, please consider giving us a thumbs up. By us, I mean me and you. It's a partnership. Like, comment, thumbs up, please subscribe. We love it. We do deep dives, we do reviews, we do styling videos over here. So thank you so much for your support. Stay stylish and stay inspired. Bye.